All right, Eric Eggers investigates corruption at the Government Accountability Institute. Bud Cummins blew the whistle on the DOJ, refusing to investigate Joe Biden despite all of the evidence. They both join me now. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Eric, another layer of credible confirmation today. Hunter's former close friend and business partner. Your thoughts on what we learned?
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly well. I think it's maybe the most credible witness testimony we've had at this point. This guy was considered essentially another Biden brother. He went to Yale with Hunter. He has golfed everywhere that Hunter has gone. He's maybe considered to be the brains of the operation. And so I think the fact that he has now flipped and basically turned state's evidence, or would be state's evidence if the state was actually interested in prosecuting anyone, then I think this is exactly who we needed to hear from. So I applaud the House Oversight Committee, because this guy knows not just where the bodies are buried, he knows where the money went and who paid it. So I'm excited to continue to hear what he had to say today. But
I want to get your thoughts. Somebody that knows the DOJ quite well, the letter that they sent on Saturday, basically just putting it out there, hey, Judge, you might want to throw this guy in jail sometime soon. I mean, I understand that this wouldn't have changed the testimony today, but it certainly felt like there was a message sent from the DOJ that's a huge part of this scandal when they put out that letter 48 hours before Devon Archer testified.
Well, the letter is a standard letter that goes out when it appeals final. It doesn't surprise me that they sent the letter. It surprises me that they thought it was okay to send it on the Saturday before his testimony on Monday. Yeah. And I agree. Very few people at the Department of Justice work on a Saturday, and they certainly don't come in the Southern District of New York in Manhattan to do a form letter.
Saturday. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Eric, watching the Democrats try and figure out how to get around this thing has been something, and there's a lot of lying going on. Senator Chris Coons, Delaware, is usually a pretty reliable, moderate voice. Here he is talking about what is so obvious at this point.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it would behoove the president for him to come out and say, hey, I had no business dealings with my son. My son's issues are my son's issues. Do you think he needs to say that more directly? Because there's a lot of people that believe something else would happen here.
Well, let's be clear about that point, Chuck. There's been a 5-year investigation, 5 years, by a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney. This investigation started during the Trump administration, and they've come forward with not one shred of evidence tying President Biden to any of this.
Eric, how does somebody come out and say, how do you say there's no evidence? All we have is evidence. We have a mountain of evidence and a mountain of witnesses.
Yeah, listen to the language, though, and listen to how the language has evolved. Remember, when the New York Times first reported on this, and when we first started reporting on this back in 2018, it was Joe Biden has had no knowledge and no conversation ever with Hunter about any of his business dealings. Now it's, oh, yeah, sure he knew about it. Yeah, he was on the phone with the guys 20 times, but he never made any money off of it. Like, that's the new standard. And as we've heard from a confidential human source, thanks to Chuck Grass's office, even that doesn't appear to be true, because you have the guy that ran Burisma saying, no, I had to pay Joe Biden $5 million. And oh, by the way, I have recordings of him asking me to do so. I mean, that's what they told the FBI in 2020. If you're saying there's no evidence that the FBI or DOJ appears to want to publicly acknowledge, that might be true. But thanks to whistleblowers, thanks to Devon Archer, and thanks to the House Oversight Committee, we know that the evidence continues to mount. Yep. And I think eventually, if Chuck Todd is asking about it, that shows you how serious the allegations are.
Chuck Todd does not want to do a story like this, I can tell you that. But your final thoughts, this is a massive scandal.
Well, to the point, that's what the DOJ was told in 2020, but that's what I told them in October of 2018.
Right.
Every single point Eric made, I told them in 2018. Why did I take it to the Southern District of New York? Because Devon Archer was in the middle of the story, and he was convicted in the Southern District of New York of fraud. He was sitting there waiting to be sentenced, and I knew that he was the most motivated guy in the world that had the knowledge that if it was true, they could quickly get to the bottom of it by going to him and seeing if he wanted to be a witness for the government and tell him the truth about these allegations. So I pointed them to Devon Archer in October of 2018, and here we are in 2023 hearing from him for the first time on the most serious crime any president has ever committed. And it's frustrating to me to have been a part of it in that way.
Certainly
and
is.
I will also point out to you the people that haven't been asked about this is Obama, Kerry, and Christopher Hines. They all should know whether he was authorized to fire Victor Shokin.
Right.
Christopher Hines got away from these guys because he knew they were about to commit crimes. Somebody needs to put them on the stand and see what they have to say.
So much for Barack Obama's scandalous administration, right? Bud Cummins and Eric Eggers, gentlemen, thank you so much. Good to see you.